the country. We today have amongst ourselves Dr. Vimal Rar ma'am. Vimal Rar ma'am, a warm welcome to you and a very good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Colonel Venkat. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, ma'am. So I, on behalf of the Honorable Chairman and Vice Chairman AICT, welcome Dr. Vimal Rar ma'am, and suffice to tell you people that when we have Dr. Vimal Rar madam addressing you, I don't think so we could have asked for anything better speaker to be coming and be, addressing you on a topic of this eminence and this importance, wherein, like I was trying to tell you, it's our endeavor that we desire and we wish that our faculty members and our students who are going to be the future generation leaders and our research scholars and our industrialists, whosoever gets connected, benefit from our this kind of a talk. And Vimal Rar ma'am, she herself is institution in herself. So I don't think so. If I start explaining about and introducing Vimal Rar ma'am to you, it will run into pages and pages. But suffice to say that ma'am has at the helm of affairs and at the national level involvement in multiple activities, both in academics, in education, and even in administrative nature activities pertaining to the education. She has been the National Resource Center of Chemistry. She has been the coordinator at the national level. She has been also the project head and joint directors of many of the activities. And ma'am, to herself, she has multiple, credentials. So it's our fortunate, and AICT considers ourselves to be very fortunate that we could make or request ma'am, and we could get her today in spite of her very busy schedule. So thanks a lot, ma'am, that you have conceded to the request of AICT and willingly come forward to take this session, wherein each and every faculty and members and students are connected with you today. So without wasting any time again, ma'am, on behalf of AICT, complete fraternity of AICT, I request you to take on the stage, ma'am, and the platform, and request you to please make us much more wiser than what we are now, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Colonel Venkat. Good morning, each and everyone. First of all, my gratitude to Chairman Sir and Vice Chairman Sir for giving me this opportunity, and thanks to you, Colonel Venkat, and all the organizing committee member of AICT. You're doing wonderful job. And above all dear participants who are my colleagues as teachers, or dear students who have joined in this webinar. And I will be sharing just the ground level grilling, I think, which is required for going into academic excellence. So some tips and some changes which are happening from both the students as well as teachers' perspective, what you can do on your own, what you can do in work, in groups, and that is what I will be sharing, and some changes which are happening in the education scenario, preparing you to become better and better professionals. Each of you, whether you are a teacher, whether you are a student, doesn't matter. So let me just share my screen, and Colonel Venkat, if you can help me. I hope my screen is visible. If you can confirm. Okay, thank you so much. And the title of my talk today is Towards Academic Excellence in the 21st Century. And you can keep writing in the text in between. I am looking at your comments and try to integrate them if I can. So when we talk about academic excellence is demonstrated by the ability to perform, achieve, and or excel in scholastic activities. That's how we actually define academic excellence. And academic excellence can be identified by achieving high grades, which as students and unfortunately entire education system focuses on. Yes, if it is a B grade or a C grade, then this like always labeled. So that is what not should be done. And when from your own perspective as dear students, this is not everything. You should be aspiring to be excelling in grades, but then there is much more beyond the grades to make you achieve academic excellence is your intellectual capacities and skills in service to humanity. This is what I will like to signify in my talk, and how it can be really integrated by both teachers and students on their own. If your teachers are not doing, doesn't matter. This is the change which has to be done by you, because you are facing the 21st century challenges which you have to prepare to. Achieving academic excellence is a process of both formal and informal education. So don't be just focused that in your teaching learning spaces this is happening and you have to be just glued to that. There is so much informal education which happens around us, and we can also go into some small training courses depending upon our own interest and will, and try to integrate all these. Even I will say the series of these webinars which AICT is delivering, from sharing the different experts, from every expert you are going to see something positive. Try to grab it and take it further in your life. So you should be aiming to become outstanding teacher or outstanding student or outstanding researcher. But then for that, you have to have, first of all, a sound and deep knowledge and clarity of concepts. And for that, lot of thinking on the subject is required. Just don't do the superficial reading, and it has to be, the concept has to be understood where it is applied in real life. Then and only then you will be able to take it further. Yeah, Rivandru, thanks for your comment. And for that, I think you should be looking for out of box thinking. How to become innovative and creative. You will not become innovative and creative just by the same routine, rote learning happening, the information sharing and reproducing that. Try to look into what are the questions which are coming in your mind when you are reading or understanding any topic, whether a part of your own self reading or your teachers are explaining that concept. And for my dear colleagues who are joined as teachers here, try to have discussion so that innovation and creativity and the curiosity around the subject can be evolved in your teaching learning practices. And even for becoming outstanding researcher also, maybe some of you are aspiring to be good researcher. Research also is not a replication. It is something new that you have to build upon on the base foundation of information. And for that also, you have to be innovative and creative. Talking about the requirement from career point of view also, it is just not education. Your vision, skills, your interests, the values, goals, all these play very important role that you have always have to keep in mind. Many a times I have been employing now many younger colleagues from almost a decade, and the CV is very good, even the skill is there, but the attitude, no, I'm not going to do. So please, I think there is a lot of things which are required for your self grooming to be equipped for facing the 21st century challenges. But the importance of education is very important, and it cannot be undermined. But then education, you can say, it is what remains after one has forgotten everything he learned in school. So as per Albert Einstein, this is the famous quote I want to share. So if you recall back in your class 10th or 12th, all those formulas that you have memorized and gulped out in the examination, but after 1 week, you are not remembering anything. That is of no use at all. I think what is really being carried with you is what is the real education and learning you are going to take it for your life. And if we talk about the goals of education process, we have to be good human being, responsible citizen, and competent professional. These are the things that we have to, and towards that, there are various graduate attributes and outcomes from both UGC and AICT point of view, which focus around not only the disciplinary knowledge, but communication skills, critical thinking, problem solving approaches, analytical reasoning, research related skills, cooperation or teamwork, scientific reasoning, reflective thinking, information or digital literacy, self-directed learning, multicultural competence, moral and ethical awareness or reasoning, leadership readiness or qualities, and lifelong learning. So these are all the things that you have to ultimately prepare yourself in different aspects through different activities through. And even AICT is now restructuring the books. I'm happy to be part of this change which is being made to integrate all these changes in the book structure. And even in the teaching and learning approaches, I think the theory and practicals and projects or activities should not be taken as segregated things. There has to be an integrated approach to meet the maximum number of graduate outcomes. And with the help of technology, now teachers can also think that how videos of practicals can be shown while teaching that particular theoretical, so that there is a better understanding. And while the students are doing the experiments, then everything, what observation, what all inference, these minute details have to be seen. The experiments or practicals or projects activities are not to be done as a mechanical thing that, okay, this is the procedure, you mix and match and we have got this result. You have to be thinking in a scientific way why this is happening, why this is not happening, and that is how gradually you will be improving in your academic excellence. Also, there has to be, NEP 2020 is now talking about multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary approach. All the disciplines are not to be looked up in isolation, because the real life is a combination. If I ask you, what do you think is corona? Which subject problem it is? Is it a bio problem? It is a chemistry problem? It is a physics problem? It is a social studies problem? Or it is an economics problem? Where? It fits everywhere. So when you go in real life, you have to be away from these segregated way that you have been understanding these disciplines. Any topic that you're learning as student or you are teaching as teachers, try to apply it with real life and try to see that where are the other subjects integrating, so that the students can take this interdisciplinary into transdisciplinary, create a new knowledge which is engulfing the various disciplines which they can. And we as teachers sometimes also we become bottlenecks in the, our students are so creative. We should be keeping these open that, okay, now you tell me which are the subjects that we can be integrating this further, and let them explore, and that's how they will be able. But for doing that, the clarity of concepts has to be crystal clear. Just being a chemistry person, I'll take one example. There are gases coming out in both of these reactions, whether carboxylic acid reacts with sodium bicarbonate or alcohol reacts with sodium to give hydrogen gas. Why it is that carbon dioxide comes with a brisk effervescence? Why do we use effervescence? But here it is not effervescence. Can we go into that minute detail, the nature of these two different gases and why it is happening in this way is, I think, our understanding has to go, and then the entire understanding application will be built upon these strong foundation. Also, national education policy emphasizes on environmental education, and I personally feel it should not be as a separate paper. It is there as the Supreme Court ruling, but over and above that, it has to be inculcated by each and every teacher and each of you in your life, in your home. See where are the environmental friendly practices that you can have, the safety aspect, and that starts from our lab, in chemistry lab, in physics lab, in bio lab, in your mechanical engineering lab, civil, you go, you are aspiring to be engineers who will be building dams, and if they collapse, can you think about what are the environment aspects and the safety aspect, and how you can be using the responsible waste management principles of reduce, reuse, recycle, recover, and disposable. Always you have to be keeping these consciously in mind whenever you put any project in place. Accidents and tragedies, if you should be working to avoid them, but if they happen, again, from a scientific approach, from knowing the concept when you are working around, that what are the damages which can happen, and especially when you are working with chemicals, the MSDS should be handily available, and safe practices, the antidotes, the first aid measures for every type of accidents which happen should be there ready, and when you are implementing any project, even if it is a small one. And the tech savvy teachers and students, we should be looking for the newer pedagogies, the flipped classroom model, where the information sharing now becomes a part of the videos, and SWAYAM and MOOCs are giving you so many good quality videos. And in the classroom, then using that information, there should be active discussion, problem solving, which should be between the teachers and students. And also between students and students, you should be prepared with the questions and take it healthily with your teachers, and co-learning should be. So the entire shift of education system to meet the 21st century challenges is from teacher-centric to learner-centric. So teachers have to change to go into learner-centric practices, and you as learners, now having so much information around you, you have to be active participation in the learning process. It is not just, madam, sir, whatever is writing on the board, you just make the notes and learn them and get 90%, which is of no use. You should be now taking these models in real practice for you. It is your life. And along with that, professional ethics, skills for industry. You see where your inclination is, you want to go into which segment of industry which you're aspiring, and what are the skill sets required for becoming successful in that industry, which may not be part of your curriculum, but on your own you can do that learning and take your these skills further. And as I told you, all the fields have to be taken in interdisciplinary manner, and try to see where the knowledge or concept that you are studying can be applied in real life problem solving scenarios. And my dear women students and colleagues, it's not just your responsibility, for my male students and colleagues also. I think we have to create an environment which is ensuring equity and accessibility to all, including the women empowerment and gender equality, because it is a collaborative work. It is not a competition between male or female. We have to build a better society, and we should be able to integrate the environmental education into all of these. So what should be your now strategy when you are going into the teaching learning process from both the students and teachers point of view? Is search, and you have empty information available around you through the Google search or any other search engines, but then not that information is sufficient. You should be able to analyze how it will be useful or not, what is relevant, and then how it can be taken further. Try to integrate theory with experiments, with real life or case scenarios, as I told you. And one example I would like to quote here is, can we give some activity to the students, and student can also on their own be now looking for some group activities to do, and try to implement it around this the course or the syllabi that you are studying. Look at dyes and titration. These are two discrete different chapters and experiments we talk about, but then are they related? Can there be some relation between them? Can I get some answer? So I usually have this activity, and I have many of them. So one I will like to share with you, that take your mom's white color dupatta and try to get it dyed in orange color from a local shop in your area. Now ask what chemical is being used for the purpose and cost of various similar chemicals. Correlate with their structures then, and design and ask some questions for the shop owner and person. This is I am opening to the student. What question they will design, what things. Now then we connect not only with chemistry concept but environment, maths, economics, biology, legal, art, media, physical education, and other. I keep it open for the students, and the students come out with so many things. Like one of the student came up with that initially these dying were in the residential area, but after the Supreme Court ruling, they moved out. And then there are worker point of view that they are traveling and others. So it's not that any change which is happening, we should be able to look it from a holistic and sustainable point of view. And that all develops when you engage yourself to do some activity or project, not take them ready-made from the market. Please, I think project is something you should be doing, and through these projects your concepts and understanding of these becomes, because education is not the learning of facts, but it is the training of mind to think, as I have told you earlier. So 21st century skills, in that technology is very, very important skills around along with the other. And technology, I will say it is an enabler, and you should be using the millions of apps available. You don't have to learn everything, but some basics of these, and then in your professional requirement you should be able to adapt and take those which are in your professional space of work or research and so on. But you should be knowing how to use it effectively. If the technology is not reducing your time, it is not automating, I think that is of no use. And here, even in your learning, it gives flexibility through various online courses. Anytime, any number of times you can learn, because sometimes the teachers, even if they are best of the teachers, you may not be finding easy that, okay, I'm able to understand just one time. Then you can watch that particular video again and again. And this is definitely a boon for slow learners. The concept of MOOCs, I think most of you are aware. And if not, just visit the swam.gov.in portal hosted by AICT itself, where you will find so many courses which you can study over and above your exposure to your immediate teachers in your classroom. So ICT in higher education is doing wonders now, not only in teaching learning through e-learning MOOCs, but even the revision of syllabi through various online discussions, the research. There are so many electronic database, and even the teachers training from ARPIT and MOOCs is happening, which is really a game changer, which I foresee will be bringing positive results in improvement of higher education. So information search is just a click away, but we have to be, I again emphasize this, that we have to be working on problem analysis, and how that has to be done will be making our students more and more creative. When you are presenting any of these projects or reports, you should also be knowing about handling the digital formats. Just PDF is just one, even when it is video or other type of animation file, how to convert one format into other. And more important than that, another important requirement is, no one will really take the pains to listen to your ideas unless or until your communication is effective and impressive. So dear students and all my dear colleagues, you should be constantly improving upon your communication skills. Don't expect that first day you will be good. As you keep on taking more opportunities, you keep on speaking, presenting, you will be improving, and you try to look at those who you think they are good presenter, try to see how they are doing voice modulation, how their presentation skills are there, and try to learn from them. So presentation is what you say, and communication is how you say it. So all these are very, very important. And let me tell you, effective presentation can do wonders and captivate the audience, whether it is your classroom scenario as a teacher, or when the students are going into the interviews, or they are presenting a project in front of a committee where they are going to get crores of projects. Yes, I am sure all my dear students listening here are going to be the future edupreneurs and getting the projects, but prepare yourself for better, and what you want to present should be there, and all these things are very important. And while presenting, let me share you my own experiences. Many of the presentation, when we get projects worth crores of funding, just 5 to 7 minutes. So you have to be expressing what you want to these 5 to 7 minutes. If you have present like, okay, I will take 30 minutes to explain, the opportunity is gone and you will be regretting. So be prepared for all different type of presentations, and time limit you should be looking. It can be directly utilized for giving marks or grades for students in project presentation by teachers. But then for my dear students here, yes or no is what depends for getting your business funding. And presentations you can use. I think this is something very important tool. You should be making good presentation with more visuals, less text. Just try to compare the different presentations. You must be, I will say, regularly attend these webinar series. You will be able to see different views, how the communication is happening, how the presentation is happening, and I'm sure you're going to learn. So it can be used for teaching training. It can be used for e-content development as storyboard. It can be used for your project reports, for your business presentation, for giving presentations in seminar, workshop. And if you know PowerPoint, there's no need of even Corel Draw, other type of professional softwares. You can prepare beautiful posters in PowerPoint itself. So multimedia enriched PowerPoint presentations are the most important, powerful tool. You can take any of these, but please just don't read from the screen. Most of the time, this is the error that we do. Everything that we want to speak as teacher or a presenter, everything is written there. And for that, I think you don't know your substance, the subject. If everything you're writing, you have not done sufficient groundwork, you don't know your subject, there should be only points which are giving power to your presentation, and then you should be able to elaborate around that, and there should be visuals, animations, video, which will be adding more significance, and this will be more learner centric requirement. And especially this is a tool I think all teachers should be making good, interesting presentation. It is not the same book information or anything on the Wikipedia or otherwise which is textual. As teachers, we have to be making the things, concept simpler and clear to them, and for that these becomes very important tools. One example, if you are explaining these things, I will better put it in a visual format and then enhance and type. So visual, there are again researches where visual learning is much more better than just the textual learning. So PowerPoint gives you the way where you can enhance upon, and then you can have good animations which will make the concepts clearer to the, again, you can search, or if there is a possibility, you can even think of making these type of animations. GIF animations can be made, but higher animation, they need proper technical know-how, and that also is really something which will make the concept to be understood very soon. Also, I think we should be preparing for the blended learning, where in classroom we are having discussion, but those all theoretical topics we should be capturing either as speaker videos, or if you think that, okay, this is how on the screen I can write, which is explaining best to my student, then even these videos through screen capture softwares or interactive board software can be captured, and they become part of your presentation. So it's the idea is to have mix and match of different technologies and come out with good flavor. Another very important tool is the spreadsheet. Now with the data analysis, data mining, all these becoming very important. Any subject that you are preparing, the data is being generated every hour in every space. But then how it can be used for predictive analysis, how it can be used for making results, some analysis is what we have to learn. And that beginning starts from spreadsheet. But in spreadsheet, you should be knowing not only for graphs and charts for quick analysis, but also for various quick calculations which you can do as teachers and students. So right from the beginning, I will say don't make these manual graphs. Rather, you do one set of experiment, make the corresponding graph in Excel, and then changing the value. Let us see what will happen when we make the volume double. What will happen when we make the volume half or one third? Automatically, without doing those experiments, the simulations can be done, and there can be so many discussions. So this is what will be the effective integration of ICT tools in your teaching and learning practices, where in the same time, you can actually take the learners into more effective understanding, thinking, and analysis. And we also have to be learning about subject-specific software. Those who are inclined into research, chemistry and bio, the visualization of models, or the graphing software, or you will have the statistical softwares where you want to do into big data analysis, or where you are having the entire 3D, the AutoCAD designing. So if you want to be making a dam or a building, then you have to be now not working on papers, but on these designs. So there is again scope of so much which can be learned. And here I feel myself to be slightly older. Although I'm trying to pick up programming and coding. Wish these were in our initial timings. But for all you dear students, I think you're already from a good background of courses being done. Pick up the programming and coding, and don't just apply it to the routine application software. Look at the society problems around and see if you can create some app, something which can be used, and also video creation, capture and editing tools. What you see here, we have actually more than 50 MOOCs prepared, and this is done in a green background software studio, and all the background and even this table is artificial. So you should know in how technology can be used for video creation, capture and editing. This is another dimension, and even this can be integrated in all the field, because the entire future is now about digital marketing, digital publishing and all. Wherever you are, in whichever space, the digital marketing and digital publishing skills, you'll have to prepare your brochures for the product that you're preparing or go into. So just try to understand the nuances of all these new upcoming fields which will be. And don't forget to be working in collaboration, because now when more than 65% job will be work from home, how will you work if you're not able to collaborate online? So dear students, I think these are the tools, and you are smarter enough than us who can even tell us what are the tools which are better, and the tools will keep on. It's about the attitude and the way that you will be using these technologies to be working collaborative, which particular file folder has to be shared, which is not something. In your teams you have different divisions, so which division will be able to access which folder. So these are very important things that in these type of now collaboration we have to be knowing the nuances of these small things. And email is your new address, dears. Doesn't matter if you have sitting anywhere in the world. Now you can be starting your own business, but your email, even as you apply to get any uh, position in corporate or any other thing, please don't use your nickname. Sometimes I get the students applying, and then they have Bond 007. Please don't use these type of, so don't use the fancy name actor. Try to make it in a more serious and a professional mode. You can add numbers, but then definitely your name should be clearly present in that, and it should not be that the person is guessing, oh my god, the name is this and what is this email ID. So this is very simple but very important requirement which corporate houses present. And improve your grammar and vocabulary. It's never too late. Please practice your language skills, and when you're particularly writing professional mails, you have to be very, although again now the mails also have gone with AI integration so much that they give you indication. So just look at those also. It will be always improving your, and ethics in online communication is again very important topic. We have to be ethical when we in speaking. We still sometime, but when you're writing, think a lot before you write, because if there is some sensitive issue, and in our rich diverse cultural country like India, we have so many sensitive issues. We should be very critical in putting these in the any social platform and any of the mails that we are writing. And you see so many now news which are creating trouble when you go into the social networking and just put it the message as such. So my humble request to all my dear students to be cautious, otherwise it may land up in trouble. And even ethics in entire digital work assignment, the students who are submitting assignment and the teachers who are submitting their research proposals or the research papers, I think the plagiarism checking tools must be done, very extensively used. And teachers, I will say that rather than giving the students many projects, give them in different groups and ensure that the students are able to write something original, because that is what will be making them really write around new things. And we should not be just promoting that the students are copying and pasting in handwritten mode. It is not possible, but you use the plagiarism tools. Within a minute you can tell the students, and the students also can check it before submission, that even if it is unconsciously done, excuse me, it has not violated the copyright issues. And there are proper ways of using for teachers. There are open educational resources which you can take in the flipped classroom model. Sorry. Another dimension that I would like to touch upon is the assessment. And I think assessment drives learning. Unfortunately, our education system and all you students, you are just looking for scoring high marks. That should not be the way. Real learning is not marks. It will be something which you will be carrying throughout your life, and it will be reflective in any activity that you do. Otherwise, you go, you are given a position, and the boss will be asking you, okay, give me. Then they will say, okay, tell me how it has to be done. I can just replicate. I cannot innovate. So that's not where, and that's where the assessments you should be. Now technology provides, and teachers can go into crosswords, video, audio based questions where the videos are given, situations are given, and then the students are analyzing or drag and drop. And now even entire virtual augmented reality in education, gaming and virtual labs are coming, different ways of learning. Artificial intelligence driven personalized learning is coming, and the NEET portal of AICT is already taken a leap in that way, I will say, in entire country, where there are AI based courses which are given. So you should be trying to analyze at least once in a month regularly that what are your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. You know the best where you are. Try to improve upon the areas where there is required. So recognize your strengths and weaknesses, I will say, and keep on improving upon your weaknesses. Set realistic goals in the light of your current marks. Sometimes we aspire so much, and at the end there is cut off, and then there's like nothing is there. So many options are there. What if one door closes? Keep trying. You should be having better and better outcome and keep on improving your skills. Don't get just disheartened by failure. CV creation and interview skills is again one should be improving upon. If you are waiting that you will be giving interviews after you complete your graduation, post-graduation or doctorate, I think you are spoiling your next 4-5 years. Right now, start applying even if you are not going to take the job. Nothing better like that, because you know, even if you get, you are not going to take it. Come on, face interviews, do mock interviews. And my dear colleagues as teachers, I will say, conduct some mock interviews where it will be giving the students more and more confidence. And even the CVs you prepare, try to look at the CVs which are present on net, or look at some other CVs of eminent personalities. Right now, you may be just having, oh, I'm not able to fill just one page. And think that, okay, in every month, can I add just one line in my CV? Imagine after 5-10 years where, and there are stalwarts like Professor Shastribudhe, Professor Punia, who have CVs running in hundreds of pages, and is like even the brief of the CVs is not really brief. So you should be preparing to aspire to all those levels. And this is going to be an age of uncertainty for all of you, dear. As I told you, 65% of the children entering primary school right now will be working in jobs that don't exist right now. So are you able to take the challenges which are just unforeseen? The corona situation has really taught many empires have been lost and many empires have been built from scratch. The change, you have to be always ready. Be prepared for the ups and downs in life. That is also another very, very important. And some tips I will like to give, especially for my students here. I think 87% of all people fail not because of capability, but because of their personality. So try improving your personality day by day. You have to be really grilling yourself and keep on improving your traits. The difference between being mediocre and achieving excellence is just you, dears. So this is what we have to keep in mind. Don't wait for your ship to come in. You have to swim out to it. Have a proactive personality. Just don't be waiting that, okay, someone will come, and keep on trying. Something will work, something will not work, but do and have immediate as well as distance aim. And don't be, it has to be realistic. You cannot be aspiring, just like this example. A penguin can never be a giraffe. So be the best penguin you can be. Look at your strengths and improve upon that. Every field requires the people on the top, and there is a dearth of good people on the top. There is no competition as you move higher, and that will require a lot of work, groundwork, hard work throughout your career. And a bird sitting on the tree is never afraid of the branch breaking, because her trust is not in the branch but in her own. So I'll say, make your wings so strong that you don't have to worry that, okay, now it is this company, this is other company, this is the company I opened, this went down. You have your own skills. You can build so many empires. So believe in yourself is what I will say to all of you. Have a positive mindset, because positive thinkers have a solution for every problem, and negative thinkers have a problem for every solution. So be positive and try to make others also positive around, because the entire society, we have to be having positive thinkers. Be extraordinary to become extraordinary, I will say. Just don't be like Manita. If you are able to target, yes, after 5 or 10 years, I should be having my individual personality. Try to build that which is separate from everyone else. And for that, I think you can work for so hard that one day your signature will be called as an autograph. I feel so satisfied. Last year, when we have more than 55,000 teachers, my sign going as certificates for their promotional requirement, and that is not easy, but it is doable. You look any person who has made some mark. I am just a very initial level, but there are so many stalwarts. Look at any field, any, whether Bollywood, Hollywood, in academic life or in any corporate. Look at the corporate leaders. A diamond is merely a lump of coal that did well under pressure. So all of you have to evolve from that lump of coal. We are all made into diamond that will be, or even for that matter gold. जब तक वो आग में नहीं होता है, वो निखार नहीं आता है. So we have to be looking at those, and failures are the pillars of success, dear. So don't take the failures as a burden over you, but take the failures as a stepping stone, because from every failure you keep learning and learn. And let me tell you, when my initial stage of career, it took me 10 years to become permanent faculty, almost more than 50 interviews in the Delhi University. But then in corporate life, I was able to show my sample and get success in success. So you know where it is. And but then I made it up. And but when I made it, now I am slightly a different teacher than others, because that journey which took me into e-learning corporate world made me a different teacher than that. So don't take that, okay, now you are not getting this. You take any opportunity and try to keep learning from that. It will definitely build upon you, and it will be useful, which will be making you a different person from other. Time is precious. Make sure you spend it with the right people. Company matters. So do make good company study groups, which will be, who will be interacting with you and taking, and at the end of the day, your biggest competition is just you, no one else. So don't compare that, okay, he is doing so much, she is doing, and I am here. You have to be constantly working on yourself. It is just you, and you know the truth where you lack, and you have to be presenting yourself. And collaboration and discussion, as I told you, is very important. And one very, very important and humble request to all my dear listeners today. I think, where is our society heading? With the corona, we had some good examples, but we had very, very ugly face of our society being shown to us. Fake remdesivir, even the cylinder of oxygens being sold in many times multiplier of the original cost. Vaccination scam. Where are we heading? After doing pharmacy, after doing engineering, after doing PhD in chemistry or physics or maths, or becoming respectable part of the society, but doing these things, I think our education system has really failed us. So it becomes duty for all of us, my dear colleagues as teachers, please, in your every batch of students, in addition to chemistry, physics, maths, commerce, whatever responsibility we have, take this to every student, because that is what our future society is going. And all my dear students, take this in very serious. You are our future. You have to build this society. Anything you do, cost is one thing. Look at the human thing. Look at the society requirement. I think we have to be. So education is limitless and unending process to be enjoyed for a lifetime. Every day we learn. We learn formally, we learn informally. So don't be afraid of learning more and more. Keep learning, but then look at all the values and the society requirements. Look at the problems which are in the society. Try resolving them. Just don't be the person who is cribbing. Oh, no, this is his responsibility. This is my this is their responsibility, they are not doing this. Come on, let us look inside our, what are we doing? We each personally, if we try to make the change will happen. I am very sure all of you are going to make it happen, my dear teachers, through every classroom, from every batch of students, and all my dear students, you, when you go further in any place, you are the change maker, and I am sure you are going to do this. Join our Telegram group. We keep on conducting various events. This is my Telegram group of JDTLC, Ministry of Education. We are having mandate of conducting FDP. This is my email ID. So thank you so much. Thank you once again for the excellent time given. Thanks to entire AICT team. And I am now open for questions if there are any. Thank you so much. Colonel Venkat, do we have any questions? I think Professor Muralidhar has raised hand. Yes, sir, please. And I think Lavanya also has raised hand.
Vimal Rar ma'am, thanks a lot. I believe your talk is absolutely phenomenal, and which we can very well see from the number of attendees who are still connected. Our maximum strength, comparatively strength for this talk is 1,000, and I think we have touched the complete, and this is only attributable because of your wonderful talk, in the manner in which you have motivated the people, in which actually speaking you have given them a real insights, which is so very relevant. Everybody wishes to, get connected to the ground reality, ma'am. All of us can speak hypothetically, and superficially, but people appreciate someone who goes at their level and speak. And I can, on behalf of everybody, because I can only scroll down the messages which are coming. The messages only seem to be speaking.
Queries or something you'd like to speak, I think 5-10 minutes are there. And I think I have done time management for my presentation. So although I wanted
That is
to
also, ma'am, that is also one part of learning. One is the art of presentation. Number two is the art of influencing people. And the third is time management. It is extremely important that one needs to understand these aspects when you are addressing a section of people, because they all are committed people who are there today. And let me tell you, ma'am, I don't even know if I start reading messages. It's only thank you. Wonderful. All participants, it was absolutely brilliant that you people attended. It was nice that we could get in touch with you people through one of the best motivational speakers. And ma'am, in case if suppose you will bear with us, on behalf of the AICT Chairman, Vice Chairman, Member Secretary, I sincerely would like to thank you for sparing your time and addressing the gathering. And in case if you do not have objection, in the coming month, ma'am, because seeing the response, with your permission, we will like to host you once again, ma'am.
It will be my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot. Grateful.
Once again, my thanks to entire AICT team, right from Professor Sastri, Chairman Sir, Professor Punia, Vice Chairman Sir, Member Secretary Professor Rajiv Sir, and to you and your entire team. Thank you so much. And all my dear students and teachers who are nice to connect with all of you virtually. Be happy and keep taking the learnings further. Be a lifelong learner. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Pleasure interacting with you.